Planting trees are a common way that people advocate for trees taking out CO2 in the atmosphere, such as what we're trying to do with Team Trees. But did you know there's another way that trees can be helpful with the carbon cycle other than absorption? That also includes mountaintops, natural disasters, and a graveyard in the bottom of the sea? Keep watching to find out more about this new story and Team Trees.
Supernova Style Science News with Julie 7 Sage.
Carbon emissions is a huge problem with climate change. Carbon is an element that is in a lot of greenhouse gases like CO2. With industrialization, humanity has flooded the carbon cycle, which is similar to the water cycle but with carbon instead, which has caused it to be extremely unbalanced in some areas. Trees are a known component of the carbon cycle. They take the CO2 out of the air, then separate it, take the carbon, and then throw back out the O2. They then hold on to most of the carbon until they die. And this is a very important process. But this new discovery can greatly change the models of that carbon cycle. An international research team led by Sarah Feekins from the USC Dorn-Sif College of Letter Arts and Sciences were first researching some samples taken from the sea floor in the Bay of Bengal about 1,000 miles offshore from Bangladesh. What they discovered was wood chips and sandy layers dating as far back as 19 million years ago. Most of the wood from the samples came from lowland sources, and there was one sample that had trees that came from highlands in the mountains. There are multiple theories as to how some of the trees were able to travel there. The wood chips from the lowlands most likely were carried to sea during torrential rains and flooding, during storms that passed in the past 19 million years. However, the theory for how the trees from the mountains got to the bottom of the sea is a bit more dramatic. The theory is the trees were uprooted during the last ice age by a massive release of water after a natural dam that was created by something like a glacier or a landslide got damaged or destroyed. These trees were then taken along for the ride with the water for thousands of miles from Nepal to the Bengal Fan, which is the largest underwater sediment accumulation throughout the entire world. So the trees basically went surfing. But what part do these trees have in the carbon cycle? Well, in the carbon cycle, most of the Earth's carbon is inside rocks. The rest goes through the cycle in the land, water, and air. All plants are a part of this cycle, but when the plants die or in their general metabolism, the carbon gets released back into the cycle. But when situations like trees being washed away into sediment, as the study has discovered happens, that keeps the carbon that was still inside the tree way under the ocean surface in the sediment. This effectively removes this carbon for possibly millions of years. Now accounting for the wood being a part of this locking away process, the amount of carbon being buried could be more than 50% larger than previously estimated. The reason why this study is so important is not only does this make the carbon cycle models more accurate, but now this information can be used to better determine how to deal with forest management, dam removal, and other issues, since this discovery should now be taken into consideration. So this actually goes to show that trees are more important than was thought before. But even though these old trees getting buried does help remove carbon, we still need to plant new trees to help as well. An easy way to help is donating to teamtrees.org. MrBeast, Mark Rober, and Smart Everyday have started a campaign called Team Trees. They partnered with the Arbor Day Foundation, and they agreed that for every $1 donated, the foundation will plant one tree. The goal is to raise $20 million to plant 20 million trees. So please, if you can, donate anything to the website teamtrees.org so we can reach our goal. We've been doing pretty well for the past few days, and I really hope that we can get to the 20 million. If you want to know more about the news story or Team Trees, check out the links below. If you want more cool science news, follow, and remember to share cool science stories with your friends to show your supernova style.